When you read online about what are the top things to do here in Budapest, those articles will probably mention to go and visit the Hero Square. So we're here. And now what? Well, there's a lot of things you can see here, and if you come without a tour guide, you'll probably don't understand, who are the heroes? What are these statues? So in this video, we are covering these topics for you. And with some help of AI, we'll imagine how these people may have looked like in real life. So let's start with the name. When we say Hero Square, what we really mean is the place under our feet. It's the whole square, and what you see here with all the statues, that is the Millennium Monument, because it commemorated the 1000-year anniversary of the Hungarian tribes coming here to the Pannonian Plains. But it was finished with a 10-year delay. Well, I guess state-funded construction wasn't really good back then either. In the middle you'll see 7 horsemen. They are the 7 tribal chieftains who led the Hungarians to the Pannonian Plains, where Hungary stands today, and in front is the leader of the United Tribes and ancestor of the first kings of Hungary, Árpád.
Legend said I was the descendant of Attila the Hun.
If you look up, you can see Archangel Gabriel holding a double cross and a crown. According to the legends, Pope Sylvester II was in possession of a crown, which was supposed to be gifted to the ruler of Poland. However, Gabriel visited him in his dreams and warned him not to hand the crown over as originally intended, but to a stranger who will visit him the following day. And that stranger was the representative of King Stephen from Hungary, who received the crown and the blessing of the Pope, and with that, Hungary as a country was born. Right in front of the center monument, you'll see the memorial stone of the heroes, and interestingly, it hides a fountain of thermal waters, which was here originally before the monument was built, and the waters of that fountain were used in a nearby bathhouse. You may know that today as Széchenyi Thermal Bath. By the way, the original structure that was called the Gloriette was moved all the way to the Buda Mountains, which now serves as a lookout spot. In the back, you'll see 2 more structures with even more statues, and some of them on the top are symbolisms rather than depicting real people. In the middle, you'll have 2 chariots facing off. One of them is war and the other is peace. On the left end, you'll find labor and wealth, and on the right, it's knowledge and glory. The people lining up here are kings and important statesmen from Hungarian history, and below them you see some reliefs which are showing some defining moments of their history. So let's start here at the left side. This is King Saint Stephen, the founder of our country, who can be seen receiving the saint crown during Christmas of the year 1000. Thanks to him, Hungary left its nomadic roots behind and joined the Christian countries of Europe.
I was the first king of Hungary.
Next we have King Saint László, who was a heroic ruler with exceptional physique and virtue. You can see him in a battle scene, which is based on a legend as how he tried to get a captured woman back from the enemy.
They called me the athlete of God.
Here we have King Kálmán, also called Könyves Kálmán, a name he got after his extraordinary literacy compared to his time, as könyv means book in Hungarian. His laws modernized Hungary and is shown here rejecting witch burning.
I valued learning and literature.
This is King András II, who was one of the most ambitious leaders of Hungary, expanding the country's borders and even leading a not too successful crusade to the Holy Land, which you can see here. This experience ultimately led him to formulate an important set of laws that established the rights of the nobility.
My laws defined the Hungarian state for centuries.
King Béla IV is also called the second father of Hungary. Due to the geographical location of our country, many conquests of Eastern European empires led through here, and during the Mongolian Empire's campaign, Hungary was devastated. King Béla was the ruler who helped Hungarians stand up again after this.
I've rebuilt Hungary from the ashes the Mongols left behind.
Next, you'll see King Károly, who focused more on building alliances and stabilizing the economy to create a strong Hungary that could counterbalance the strength of the Holy Roman Empire in Europe.
Hungary was the largest producer of gold in my time.
Interestingly, the relief here is not related to him, as it shows a battle from a time he wasn't even born. And finally, we have King Lajos, also called Lajos the Great, under whose rule Hungary was at its peak during history as one of the great powers of Europe. During these highly prosperous times, he led multiple campaigns and even managed to conquer Naples in Italy for a brief period.
They called me the Great because I made my country great.
By the way, we are just at the edge of the Városliget City Park. It's a really cool place where you have a fake castle, the Széchenyi thermal bath, even a hot air balloon. There are so many cool things and we actually made a video about it, so maybe after this one, make sure to check that one out as well. Now on the Colonnade on the right side, you'll see statues which are actually not part of the original set. We used to have some Habsburg rulers who were displayed here, but over time these were changed to other people who had more closer relations to us Hungarians. Here we have János Hunyadi, who was a legendary military general and governor of Hungary, who fought off the Ottoman campaigns many times thanks to his combat and strategic skills.
My peers called me the Turk beater for a reason.
Next to him is his son, King Matthias, who may be a bit controversial. He is remembered as a king of justice who relied on science and reason. But as per some historians, he was way too tough with taxes and focused more on solidifying his throne instead of the prosperity of the nation. Nevertheless, he was certainly one of the most intriguing rulers of Hungary.
According to folk tales, I wandered the country in disguise to deliver justice to the people.
The remaining statues were not part of the original setup, starting with István Bocskai, who was Prince of Transylvania and who navigated his domain in difficult times when Hungary was split between Ottoman and Habsburg rule. He led an uprising against the Habsburgs that ultimately resulted in some level of freedom for Hungary, even if it was still under Austrian rule.
My willingness to compromise for peace earned the respect of my enemies.
Gábor Bethlen was also from the time when Hungary was split, and during his time as prince, Transylvania prospered and became strong enough to land a few punches on the Habsburgs, but never got enough support from other countries to fully take back the part of Hungary that the Austrians ruled.
They say my time was the golden age of Transylvania.
Continuing the historical figures who had a beef with the Habsburgs, we have Imre Tököli, who led a group of revolting Hungarians called Kurucs against the Austria loyalists.
I allied with the Ottomans to drive the Habsburgs away.
You can kinda see a pattern here. Those Habsburg rulers were basically swapped with people who were fighting against them. Well, during communist times after World War II, these Habsburg rulers were seen as like royalty and the upper class and the foreign external power. So heroes who were representing the people, the everyday people of Hungary, were placed here instead of them. So as you may guess, our next statue is also depicting a Transylvanian prince who led a famous uprising against the Habsburgs, Ferenc Rákóczi. He was the last prince of Transylvania, and during his revolution, the Hungarian parliament offered him the royal crown, which he refused.
I did it for the freedom of my country, not for my own personal gain.
Last but not least, we have Lajos Kossuth, a famous politician who rallied the people during the Revolution and War for Independence of 1848-49, yes, against the Habsburgs. A military recruitment song from the time about Kossuth asking people to join the fighting forces is something we still learn as children in school. He was regarded internationally as the father of Hungarian democracy.
You can find my bust in the United States Capitol.
By the way, the name Hero Square doesn't only reflect on the people you see here depicted as statues. The name was originally given after the memorial stone of the heroes was placed here to commemorate the fallen heroes and soldiers of World War I. But this name today is more related to the people who fought for Hungary during the whole history of this country. Oh, and here's a fun fact, this isn't the only hero square in the world. There's actually a copy of this place in China. Close to Shanghai there's a theme park where they have copies of famous buildings around the world, and the hero square is also there. from all the historical figures we showed you today, my personal favorite has to be Saint László, because he kind of represents that king on a horse with a sword, charging into battle, fighting for his country. But who did you find most interesting? Leave a comment below and let us know. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. And again, as always, see you guys in our future videos. Bye!